All right, welcome everyone. We are going to do another lesson on economic, political, social, and geographic because I feel like we are not where we need to be with these four words. So we're going to start by reviewing these words. You see the word economic, what should you be thinking? See the word economic, what should you be thinking? You're thinking money, that's a good start. What else should you be thinking? You could be thinking trade. You could also be thinking material goods. Moving on to political. You see the word political. What should you be thinking? You're thinking government. Nicely done. Social. You see the word social. What should you be thinking? Yeah, history class is true, but really social means what? Social means people, having to do with people. All right, in geographic or geography, what should you be thinking? You should be thinking the surface of the earth. All right, so most of these questions are ones from my last assignment. However, all these questions had about 50% of people getting them correct. So like that's not good enough to go forward. I don't need 100% of my students getting these questions right. That would be nice, but I definitely need somewhere in like 85, 90% of my students getting these right. So we're gonna go over these. All right, Brandon wanted to be class president of Peru. All right, I'm seeing class president. That's student government, so that's kind of like political. He was motivated to run for student council because he thought he would make more friends and become more popular. That's kind of like a social reason. So Brandon's motivated to run for student government. Brandon's motivation to run for student government is best described as political or social. Well, he's mostly motivated for friends. So he is motivated for social reasons. All right, number two. Rosa Parks, an African American woman, decided to sit in front of the bus instead of the back, even though she wasn't supposed to. She wanted to show that African Americans were equal to whites. We have two different groups of people. Her motivation was for social equality. She's trying to show that all people should be treated equally. One motivation Europeans had to explore the world was religion. They wanted to spread Christianity to as many people as possible. This motivation is best characterized as a social motivation. One motivation Europeans had to explore the world was resources. Europeans wanted access to as many raw resources as possible. Examples are sugar, lumber, and tobacco. This motivation is best described as economic. Material goods, things. The British the British islands, were often isolated from mainland Europe. Historically, the ocean proved to be a significant barrier to Britain interacting with mainland Europe. Britain was isolated due to, well, we have islands separated from a continent by an ocean. So the islands separated from a continent by an ocean. Britain was isolated due to, well, it seems like all of these are like surface of the earth. Britain was isolated due to geographic factors. many years, historians thought cavemen owned very little material goods and did not trade with other groups for resources not available to them. Over time, this viewpoint has been rejected. It is now accepted that cavemen engaged in trade with groups they were in contact with. This shows that historians, well, it's trade, so this shows historians' economic understanding of cavemen has changed over time. Dante wanted to be class president of Peru High School. He was motivated to run for student council because he thought it would prepare him for a career working as an elected or appointed official in the local government. Brandon's motivation to run for the student government is best described as, well, he wants to be in the government, so he's definitely motivated for political reasons. And it's saying he also wants a career. So a career is probably, well, you make money in a career. Economic. I would say that's like one thing we probably didn't put in our brainstorm for economic that we have in class. Money, trade, material goods, jobs would all be economic things. All right, it is difficult for a factory to distribute its goods to the east. So we have a factory and goods. That kind of sounds like economic things. A large river is due east with no bridges nearby. A river. It kind of sounds geographic, the surface of the earth. In this scenario, blank factors are making blank activity more challenging. So are the goods making the geography challenging, or is the geography making it hard to distribute the goods? It seems like in this scenario, geographic factors are making it harder to distribute goods, so making it harder to distribute goods, economic. So geography, the surface of the earth, is making economic activity more challenging. Tyrone accepted his parents' offer to dig a ditch so rainfall would drain from the yard. A ditch in the ground of the earth. Sounds geographic. While the money he would be paid is nice, money, it sounds economic. While the money he would be paid was nice, ultimately, he just wanted to play soccer in his backyard with his friends. So it seems like Tyrone cares more about his friends and less about the money. Tyrone's primary motivation is his friends. He wants to be able to play soccer. So Tyrone's primary motivation is to hang out with his friends. I would say that's a social motivation, while his secondary motivation is to make money. That would be an economic motivation. So in this case, Tyrone really cares more about his friends and less about the money. Mr. Baharnwa decided to retire earlier than expected. While he knew his income would go down, he's retired, he's going to have less income, he's going to have less money. That sounds economic. He was excited to go on vacation with his wife and their friends. Wife and friends. That sounds social. So it seems like Mr. Baharnwa cares more about vacation with his friends and less about money. So it seems like Mr. Baharnwa is more motivated by social factors than he is by economic factors. All right, so that's the 10 questions. I hope going over those was helpful. Feel free to refer back to this video as you complete the assignment.